Brittany?
I feel like it's such a gift knowing you guys, like, because it's been one of the most convincing things for me because of the way that you guys are. The way that you are with us is because you're connected with God, or you want to be, and so I feel like that tells me something about God.
Yeah. Well, the more a person receives God's love, the more they tell you about God, don't they?
That's been
It's really good.
Yeah.
So you end up feeling more confident that God's a nice person. That God's the best person, actually. The best being. Lolly.
Through the experiment, we have to feel, and in feeling, we're expanding our capacity, which is what God wants us to do.
That's right.
And in that way, we also, if we go through experiment of whether you're Jesus or not, we can take in that capacity of what you have inside you as well through that expansion, and therefore we can connect with God and then continue with that. And if we don't, we just go follow you. Not gonna.
I would say though the primary experiments are firstly with your emotion, to start working through your feelings, and the next experiment is receiving love from God. They are the two biggest experiments, and the issue as to who I am will help you. If you go through that, that'll help you greatly, because it'll iron out a lot of doubt, where you worry. People worry when they hear truth, like worry whether it's actually true, whether it's actually going to work, and whether it's actually going to be beneficial, and whether it's actually going to be nice for them, and they worry about a lot of things. And if you're not that worried about it, then you'll progress faster. Right? Simple as that. But there are some things that are really important to accept first. Humility is the first thing to accept. The next thing to accept is truth, and the next thing to accept is love. Does that make sense? So the biggest experiments you can have are first with humility, then with truth, and then with love. And in fact, you won't even have the love experiment unless you receive some truth. And that truth has to hit your heart. So if you think about the tools, can you see the relationship? You've got to have some faith first that doing these things will work, and then you've got to get to the stage where you experiment with humility, you experiment with truth, and you experiment with love. Make sense? Yep. And treat it like an experiment. Like, I don't know, me and Connie, when we get together, we experiment with things. It's sort of like fascinating, isn't it? Like you sort of go, oh yeah, we could try this and we could try that, and you're not sort of going, oh, I don't want to do anything. You're more along you're enthusiastic, aren't you, with the experiments? And this is what you need to be with your experiment about your emotions. Enthusiastic about it. And the same goes with your experiment with truth and the experiment with love, enthusiastic about it. And you'll find the more you treat it like a science project, and the more fascinated you become with it, the more rapidly you can absorb these truths that God can offer. And you can absorb them, but you have to go through the experiment to absorb every one of them. Yeah? Every one of them entails an experiment of some kind.